Hello and welcome to Business Houston Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Bertram. Today, I have Kim here with Advocates for the Independent. Kim, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Matt. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, why don't we start off telling us a little bit about your background? I saw a little bit on your story on your website of how you kind of maybe got into the business, and then what it is your business does well.
Okay. Well, my background is as respiratory therapy therapist, and I opened up Advocates for the Independent in 2010 based on I had my grandmother had become really ill, and we had trouble finding care for her. So, unfortunately, by the time I got my business open, she was not. She'd already passed, but we had so much trouble with finding qualified people. It became apparent to me that this was a business that I needed to check into. And with my background in respiratory therapy, I thought it was a good thing. So we started, and we've been in business. We're in our 11th year now.
Oh, fantastic! And you do home care, right?
Yes, home care. We have
Home health care.
caregivers that go to the homes and help people what they call activities of daily living, help them stay safely in the home, keep them out of a nursing home as much as as long as possible, or out of assisted living. Just help people stay safely in the homes. We kind of refer to the sandwich generation, people trying to run their families. They have small kids, and then their parents need help. And we go, we can go in and do meals, help them take to the doctor, help them with just about anything they need to, that you can't do as you become elderly and disabled.
And so, from what I know about home health care, there's people that are certified, and then there's like caregivers. Do you offer, right? Like, can you explain that a little bit more? And maybe can you offer both, like people that provide medicine, I guess, and provide versus like home care?
Yes, yeah, and it is kind of sometimes confusing. There is home health skilled, and then there's, if the state refers to us as home health, well, we're home health, basically non-skilled. And the skilled Medicare pays for, they'll send a nurse out, and physical therapy, occupational therapy, that type of things. What we do is, and we do have certified nursing assistants, but you do not need to be a CNA. You can, we've had some very good luck with caregivers that have never done this before, and we just take them in and we train them. Really what you need is compassion and empathy, and that's what we look for in our caregivers. So, but if this Medicare unfortunately does not pay for our services, but the home care, a home health skill would used to have a nurse. So, did that answer your question?
Well, so we had a little bit on my end, at least. There was a little bit of breakup. Could you repeat that one more time for me, just to make sure we got it for the audience?
Okay. The home health skilled is paid by Medicare, and that's a nurse, physical therapist, occupational therapist coming into the homes to help people. Our girls or caregivers, sometimes they're certified nursing assistants, sometimes they're people we've trained, sometimes they're just girls that have done this for many years. What we look for in caregiving is empathy and compassion. The skills that we do are teachable, but the empathy and compassion is something that comes from the heart and something that can't be taught.
No, perfect. So maybe could you break apart maybe like one or two or three different scenarios of where your services could be best utilized? Like, what would be a situation where, oh, hey, I need to call Advocates for the Independent because my mother or father, or like, can you maybe explain some different scenarios where it works best?
Yes. So say for instance, your parents have been, pretty self-sufficient, and maybe one has some dementia and the mom's been trying to take care of the dad. He's got dementia. She falls and breaks a hip.
Oh
Here you've
no.
got two parents. You yourself have a job and a family you're trying to take care of, but yet you don't really want to put your parents, and they're not really ready for a nursing home, and they're not really, assisted living is not the right place for them. You can call us and we send a caregiver out to stay with the dad, make sure he's taking his medication, make sure, he's safe, he's not wandering. And then if the mom gets better, comes back, the caregiver can take care of both of them. Or maybe if you live outside of the city of Houston or the area we cover, and you're not sure that they're eating correctly or they're taking their medication, or they're struggling to just live, and you live far away, that's an opportunity for an agency like myself to go in and send a caregiver and help them basically just make sure they're going to the doctor, they have food, maybe make a meal for them, and take them shopping or do the shopping for them.
Yeah, so I just pulled up your website, advocatesfortheindependent.com, and in the services section, I was seeing a lot of these great services: pick up pharmacy prescriptions, reduce risk of medication errors, provide medication reminders, and then there's like physical assistance for mobility, for exercise plans to escort to the doctor, personal care, helping them with shaving or bathing, oral hygiene, dental hygiene, helping with meal preparations, which you talked about, feeding, dietary plans, increasing kitchen safety, and then homemaking, so the cleaning, the washing of linens, taking out the trash, just household duties, right? And then
it's basically called activities of daily living. If you think about it, you get up in the morning and you get yourself up and you brush your teeth, or you take a shower and you fix your breakfast, and you put, you get dressed. As you age and you start having arthritis or different memory problems, you can't do some of that, and you need help. And that's what we call activities of daily living. We go in and help with those activities to help people, progress and age at home. Everybody wants to age at home. Nobody wants to go into a nursing home if they don't have to. And it's actually can be affordable, much less affordable than, say, assisted living or a nursing home, if you can, get by with 20 to 30 hours a week with help. And a lot of people can.
I think we take it for granted a lot, like being able to do all these different kind of things, because we just, it's natural. I know I had torn my ACL and I was actually on crutches for like 6 months, and I couldn't carry anything. I couldn't do anything. And to have, someone to help with those things would have been phenomenal, as well as, you even talk about companionship, escorts to religious services, incidental transportation, pet and plant care. I mean, so really just, any kind of daily activities, I guess, that you might need help, or like a elderly person might need help with when they're not ready for the assisted living homes. Someone can come into the house and help them. I think that's phenomenal.
Correct. One of the things that also, when people rehab, say a lot of times people have knee replacement, hip replacements, and they have to rehab, and the skilled nursing comes in, in the beginning, and they give them exercises to do. One of the things that caregivers do and can do is help them with those exercises every day, because that's very important for them to rehab and gain their independence, is to keep that rehab and keep those exercises going. And that's a very good activity. We stress to people when we take on somebody after, say, a hip replacement or a knee replacement.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at your website. It looks like you have a lot of great testimonials. You do some great hiring of compassionate people, and it looks like also here, if you for anybody that's watching, but for the listeners out there, can you talk about a little bit about your service area?
Okay. We are licensed, and you do need to be licensed from the state to run this type of a business. And we're licensed for Harris, all surrounding counties, and we go as far as the Beaumont Port Arthur area. So the surrounding counties of Harris County, and then Chambers, Galveston, Jefferson, Orange, and Hardin County.
Fantastic.
You know,
Fantastic.
I would like to say something because, you know, we just went through this freeze, and we have a testimonial for one of our clients' daughters. I have to give a shout out to my care coordinators, schedulers. They did an awesome job this past week with this, you know, the difficulty of us getting to clients with the freeze. We had people that can't go without care. We just can't go without care. And my schedulers were running the roads in this freeze, picking up caregivers, taking them to the clients so they would have care. And
Wow.
I just can't talk how proud I am of these people. And we have actually just got a letter from a daughter thanking us and thanking my staff for what they did for their mom through that freeze.
That's so phenomenal, and that is a good transition into kind of my next question for you of maybe is COVID how has COVID affected the caregiving in the homes, and like how are you dealing with that, and you know, what's been going on in your business regarding that?
Yeah. Well, when we first started a year ago with this COVID, it was pretty, you know, difficult on us because everybody was really scared and caregivers were scared, and a lot of the families, uh, you know, some of the people didn't want people coming in, and then a lot of people weren't working so they could take care of their parents. But as people have gone back to work and we've learned more and more how to protect ourselves, um, you know, we've seen a really increase in business. Also, a lot of people, because the facilities were not letting families in, it just makes it much more attractive to stay home. And because there was people that didn't see their parents or their loved ones for months and months. So I've had a lot of people say to me, when I, you know, get that way, I'm not going. I want somebody to come in the home instead of me going into the facility. We were, you know,
Yeah, less interaction, less chance of
yeah, yeah.
you know, yeah, because my grandfather's in a home, and we do you know, video calls with him because he can't leave. We actually had to be behind a glass wall that they built to interact. It was quite sad. So I really think that companionship piece and being safe about it's really valuable. So, you know, can you tell me a little bit about what it means to you to be part of the BBB?
Well, I really believe in the BBB. I think it really shows a standard of business practices to belong to the BBB. I think they've been very phenomenal. And as far as, you know, vetting companies, myself, I usually look at, before I hire somebody, to look at the BBB's website and see, you know, if there's any reviews. And I just think it's the businesses should belong to it, because you know, everybody should be doing the right thing anyway. But you know, and there's always, you know, it can be a misinterpretation, and they're good mediators too. If there's something that happens, and sometimes people just because of stress or not really understanding, sometimes there is misunderstandings, and they're a good mediator to help you work out those problems.
No, absolutely. I think that the trust component, as well as being able to mediate through situations, is super valuable. And I think a lot of people don't always realize that the BBB has those capabilities. So I think that's great for you pointing that out. So tell me a little bit about, you know, maybe some tips that you've learned, you know, being in the home healthcare industry, that maybe you didn't know prior to going into it, or maybe other people that are thinking about this service, and things they might want to consider that they might hadn't considered moving into it.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to use caregiving, I highly suggest you use a reputable agency. There's too many people running around, not just Houston, everywhere in the United States, trying to do it privately. They feel like, oh, you're going to save money, but you really do need to be paying their taxes. You need to pay the workman's comp. And because if you don't, they can come back after you if you're, I'm not paying that. But the other thing, when you're hiring an agency, you need to, vet them for one thing, and you need to listen to their advice. They know their caregivers. One of the biggest problems we see is a lot of people, I want to interview the caregiver. Well, the agency hires the caregiver. They should be training the caregiver, and they should know what skills they have. And you should, since you're paying an agency, you should let them place the caregiver. And that agency should have a policy. If for some reason there's a personality difference or you're not comfortable, they should let you change caregivers. But it's not a good thing. It doesn't really work out when the families want to say they want to interview, because they really don't know the caregiver, and sometimes they just don't interview well, and you might miss an opportunity to have a really good caregiver. And like I said, if you're paying an agency, you should
trust
follow them. Yeah. You should trust what they're telling you.
They know what they're looking for. That's great. So Kim, is there anything that we didn't cover that you wanted to make sure to get out there about Advocates for the Independent that maybe we haven't covered that you want to make sure to share?
Well, of course, I'm very partial. I think we do a great job, and my staff loves the elderly, and they're there to help. This is more of it is a business, but it is a ministry. You're helping people, and I think I just want people to know that in our heart that the elderly are the number one priority in our business.
That's phenomenal. Well, Kim, what's the best way for people to get in contact with you?
We have a website. We have a Facebook page. We have a 86800 number, 866 number, toll-free number that you can also text that number and ask, and you can put caregiver or
and that's
service.
866-237-7232. 866-237-7232.
Yes, you can text us or call us directly at 713-609-9908. You will always get a live person. We don't use an answering service. Somebody is always answering the phone 24/7 if you need something after business hours. So there's several different ways to get in touch with us.
And then info@advocatesfortheindependent.com looks like another great way, or check out advocatesfortheindependent.com.
Correct.
Yep.
Yes.
Well,
yes,
Kim, it was wonderful to have you on our program today. Wish you the best and have a great day.
Thank you very much, Matt. Enjoyed it.